every time I was working long shifts, I was getting really painful, really sore legs. Hi, my name's Mia. I have been diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS syndrome, and MCAS, and I wanted to tell you the story of how I figured out in one night using AI that I have all three. So I want to preface this by saying I obviously didn't use AI to diagnose myself. It was just a tool to try and figure out what was causing all of these symptoms and if there was anything specific I should be looking into, because every time I had gone to the doctors with no plan behind me, I had gotten no answers and it had all been ruled out as anxiety. So just before this happened, I was in university doing my nursing associates training, and I'd obviously not long started working at the hospital at this point, and my body was really struggling to keep up. I was really struggling with my heart rate mainly out of everything, and every time I was working long shifts I was getting really painful, really sore legs, and all of my joints were screaming for help. One night I just got so fed up that I came home, I downloaded ChatGPT for the first time, and I told it everything. I went through every single symptom that I could possibly think of that I've had for a long amount of time. So I wrote down everything, obviously about my bendy joints, obviously about my heart rate, but even things down to like my migraines, my astigmatism in my eyes, absolutely every symptom I could possibly think of. This conversation with the AI bot ended up lasting about 4 hours, and this was in the middle of the night, but I was so frustrated and fed up and I just wanted some kind of answer. So I began putting all of my symptoms in, and the first thing I did was that I asked it to give me 5 diagnoses of what it could possibly be. And I also asked it to give me a percentage of likeliness and which symptoms that each of the things covered. Obviously not everything was right. It told me that one of the things I could have was lupus, and I'm pretty sure I don't have lupus.
It's never lupus.
But the top 3 that came up, first one being hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, MCAS, and POTS. And those were all over 70% likelihood. And I'm not saying, blindly trust AI. I'm not saying that it's better than talking to a doctor, but it was just something that gave me a bit of an insight that I could then go and do my own research on those conditions, and then if I felt like I had them, I could take that information to the doctor, which is exactly what I did. I wrote down every symptom I could find of each of the 3 conditions, and I did a tick list. So obviously I don't have every single symptom someone with POTS could have. So I ticked the ones I did have and I left blank the ones that I didn't. That's basically how my journey started with all of these conditions, and I got extremely lucky in the sense of finding the right ones straight away. I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case. It just might be a good start to figuring out which systems in your body might be going wrong and going from there and discussing it with your doctor. Again, I'm not saying this is a foolproof method. This isn't medical advice. This is just something that worked for me, and I really, really hope that this can maybe help some other people. I don't love AI. I try not to use it where I can, but I do think that if it's being used for something so beneficial, then it might just be worth using it once or twice.